Have you ever felt a sadness so profound that it seemed to seep into your very bones? A heaviness that made it difficult to get out of bed in the morning, let alone face the day? This is the insidious nature of depression, a mental health condition affecting millions worldwide. It's a silent epidemic, often misunderstood and stigmatized, yet its impact is far-reaching. Depression is more than just feeling blue. It's a complex illness that affects every aspect of life. It affects how we think, feel, and interact with the world around us. Imagine a weight pressing down on you, suffocating your joy and stealing your motivation. That's what living with depression can feel like. But there is hope. By understanding and managing depression, we can break down the stigma and empower those who suffer. Join me as we delve into this complex condition and discover how we can lift the weight of depression. Depression whispers lies into our ears, telling us we're not good enough, that things will never get better, and that we're alone in our struggles. It's a master of disguise, often lurking in the shadows, its presence only hinted at through persistent sadness, fatigue, or a loss of interest in things we once enjoyed. But depression is not a sign of weakness. It's a treatable medical condition, just like heart disease or diabetes. It's time we start treating it as such. Ignoring the signs and symptoms of depression is like ignoring a flashing warning light on your car's dashboard. Eventually, something will give way. We need to move beyond the misconception that depression is simply a case of the blues or something that people can just snap out of. It's a serious condition rooted in a complex interplay of biological, psychological, and social factors. By understanding these factors, we can begin to dismantle the stigma surrounding depression and create a more supportive and empathetic environment for those who are struggling. Together, we can challenge the misconceptions, provide accurate information, and encourage open conversations about mental health. Depression is more than just feeling sad or down. It's a serious mental health condition that affects a person's mood, thoughts, feelings, behavior, and physical well-being. It's like a dark cloud that hangs over you, casting a shadow on everything you do. Imagine feeling a profound sense of emptiness, hopelessness, and worthlessness that seems to permeate every aspect of your being. That's the grip of depression. When we talk about depression, we're not talking about the fleeting sadness we all experience from time to time, like after a disappointment or loss. Depression is persistent and pervasive, lasting for weeks, months, or even years if left untreated. It's not something you can simply snap out of or will away. Depression manifests differently in each individual, but there are some common signs and symptoms that can help us recognize its presence. These include persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities once enjoyed, changes in appetite or sleep patterns, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, feelings of worthlessness or guilt, and thoughts of death or suicide. It's important to remember that experiencing some of these symptoms doesn't necessarily mean you have depression. However, if you've been experiencing several of these symptoms for 2 weeks or more, and they are interfering with your daily life, it's crucial to seek professional help. Recognizing the signs and seeking support is the first step towards reclaiming your life from depression's grasp. Depression, like a chameleon, can take on many forms, each with its own unique set of challenges. Major depressive disorder is characterized by a persistent low mood and loss of interest in activities for at least 2 weeks. Persistent depressive disorder, or dysthymia, involves chronic, low-grade depression lasting at least 2 years. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, occurs during winter months with less sunlight. Other forms include postpartum depression and premenstrual dysphoric disorder, PMDD. Understanding these forms is essential for appropriate diagnosis and treatment. More than just a bad day. Distinguishing depression from sadness. We all experience sadness from time to time. It's a natural human emotion. Sadness is like a passing rain shower. It eventually passes. Depression, on the other hand, is a different beast. It's not just a bad day or a temporary feeling. Imagine a heavy fog that obscures your vision. That's what depression can feel like. A persistent sadness. Depression is a medical condition that affects your life. It's like having a broken leg. You can't just snap out of it. It requires professional attention and treatment. Distinguishing between sadness and depression can be challenging. Sadness is usually triggered by a specific event, while depression often arises without a clear cause. Depression lingers for weeks, months, or even years. And while sadness may dampen your spirits, depression can significantly impair your daily life. If you're struggling to differentiate between sadness and depression, it's essential to reach out to a mental health professional. They can help you assess your symptoms and provide an accurate diagnosis, and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your specific needs. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness, and it's the first step towards reclaiming your life from the grip of depression. Unraveling the threads. Exploring the causes of depression. Depression is a complex and multifaceted condition, and there's no single answer to the question of what causes it. It's not caused by one single factor, but rather a combination of factors, like threads woven together to create a complex tapestry. To truly understand depression, we need to unravel these threads and examine the intricate interplay of biological, psychological, and environmental influences. Imagine a three-legged stool. If one leg is weaker than the others, the stool becomes unstable. Similarly, depression can arise when there's an imbalance or vulnerability in one or more of these areas. Biological factors such as genetics and brain chemistry play a significant role in influencing our vulnerability to depression. Psychological factors such as our thought patterns, coping mechanisms, and personality traits can also contribute to the development of depression. And environmental factors such as stressful life events, trauma, and social isolation can act as triggers, pushing us closer to the edge. By understanding the complex interplay of these factors, we can begin to see depression not as a personal failing, but as a health condition that arises from a combination of influences. This understanding is crucial for reducing stigma, promoting empathy, and empowering individuals to seek the help they need. The biological tapestry, genetics, and brain chemistry. Our brains are intricate networks of billions of neurons, constantly communicating with each other through chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters play a crucial role in regulating our mood, sleep, appetite, and overall sense of well-being. When there's an imbalance in these chemicals, it can disrupt the brain's delicate balance, making us more susceptible to depression. Imagine a car engine. If the spark plugs aren't firing correctly, the engine won't run smoothly. Similarly, if neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine are out of balance, it can affect our mood, energy levels, and motivation, contributing to the development of depression. Genetics also play a role in our vulnerability to depression. Just as we inherit physical traits from our parents, we can also inherit a predisposition to mental health conditions. If depression runs in your family, you may be at an increased risk of developing the condition yourself. However, it's important to remember that genes are not destiny. Having a family history of depression doesn't mean you're guaranteed to develop the condition. It simply means you may have a genetic vulnerability that, when combined with other factors, can increase your risk. Other biological factors that can contribute to depression include chronic illnesses, hormonal changes, and certain medications. For example, thyroid disorders, heart disease, and chronic pain can all increase the likelihood of developing depression. Section 3. The mind's landscape, psychological factors. Our thoughts, beliefs, and experiences shape our inner world, influencing how we perceive ourselves and the world. Genetics and brain chemistry provide the canvas, but our psychological makeup paints the picture of our mental health. Negative thought patterns can trap us in a downward spiral of negativity and despair. Imagine a record player stuck on repeat, playing the same negative thoughts over and over. These thoughts distort our perception, making us focus on the negative. Early life experiences like trauma can leave lasting scars, making us vulnerable to depression. These experiences shape our beliefs, leading to feelings of worthlessness and insecurity. Personality traits like low self-esteem and perfectionism increase our risk of depression. These traits make us more sensitive to stress and setbacks. Coping mechanisms play a significant role in our mental health. Unhealthy coping mechanisms like substance abuse can exacerbate depression. Section 4. Life's crossroads. Environmental influences. Our environment encompasses everything around us, from our social connections and support systems, to our physical surroundings and the major life events we experience. While our biology and psychology lay the groundwork, it's often our environment that determines whether or not depression takes root and flourishes. Stressful life events such as job loss, relationship breakdowns, financial difficulties, or the death of a loved one can trigger depression, especially in those already vulnerable. Imagine a snowdrift on a mountainside. A small disturbance can cause an avalanche. Similarly, stressful life events can overwhelm our coping mechanisms, leading to a cascade of negative emotions and physical symptoms. Social isolation and loneliness are significant risk factors for depression. Humans are social creatures, wired for connection and belonging. When we lack meaningful social connections, it can leave us feeling isolated, unsupported, and emotionally depleted, increasing our vulnerability to depression. Trauma, such as physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, can have a profound impact on our mental health, increasing our risk of developing depression and other mental health conditions. Trauma can shatter our sense of safety and security, leaving us feeling vulnerable, fearful, and unable to trust ourselves or others. Other environmental factors that can contribute to depression include exposure to violence, discrimination, poverty, and social injustice. These factors can create chronic stress, erode our resilience, and make it more challenging to maintain our mental well-being. Section 1. The ripple effect, depression's impact on daily life. Depression doesn't confine itself to a single aspect of our being. It's like a virus that infiltrates every cell, disrupting the delicate balance of our mind, body, and spirit. It casts a long shadow over our daily lives, making even the simplest tasks feel like insurmountable obstacles. Imagine waking up each morning with a lead weight pressing down on your chest, stealing your breath and your motivation. The world outside your window may be bathed in sunshine, but inside, you're trapped in a perpetual twilight, your energy and enthusiasm drained away by the relentless grip of depression. The activities you once found enjoyable, spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, even just getting out of bed in the morning, now feel like Herculean efforts, each one requiring a monumental effort of will. Depression saps your motivation, leaving you feeling apathetic and indifferent to the world around you. It's like watching a favorite movie in black and white, the vibrant colors of life muted and dulled by the pervasive grayness of depression. The things that once brought you joy now feel meaningless, leaving you feeling empty, lost, and utterly alone in your suffering. Depression affects not just the mind but the body, causing insomnia, erratic appetite, and physical ailments like headaches and muscle aches. Depression can isolate you from loved ones, making communication difficult and social activities feel overwhelming. Coping with depression involves personal strategies like creative expression, connecting with nature, and celebrating small victories. A holistic approach, including regular exercise, a balanced diet, and quality sleep, is essential for mental and physical well-being. Seeking professional help through therapy and medication can provide the tools and relief needed to manage depression. Stories of triumph, like Emily's journey through art and therapy, remind us of the resilience and hope within us. Michael's story shows how therapy, medication, and lifestyle changes can help reclaim joy and motivation. Sarah's experience highlights the importance of self-care and support groups in rediscovering joy and overcoming depression. Understanding self-compassion and support are key to overcoming depression. Seeking help is a sign of strength. With each step forward, you are moving towards a brighter tomorrow.